Good morning. Happy Friday. How are we doing today? Hey, a couple things going on this week. So, NAR, National Association of Realtors, came out and had a new survey, or not survey, but information came out. And it was interesting. Over the last decade, home values, and again, this is a national number, have gone up about $190,000. So, what they figured by that is homeowners have about 40 times the more net worth than renters. That's a huge number because I think all of us are trying to figure out, okay, what do we do to help our families? How do we look towards retirement? All those kinds of things. So if you can help articulate to people that if you can get into home ownership as opposed to renting, statistically, you're going to have 40 times more net worth. Big deal. So we also know that there's a lot of people that bought homes, especially millennials is one of the ones that bought homes over the pandemic period. And they're looking at those and they're going, oh, I feel like I'm stuck because I have this 2% or 2.5% or 3%, whatever it is, interest rate. And now rates are, 6.5 or 7, whatever. I just can't afford to sell my house. That's happening. So people are kind of feeling stuck. So another thing that came out from NAR was they were saying that as soon as rates, they're saying there's going to be kind of a magical number, and they're predicting that number to be at about 5.5%. So when rates hit around 5.5%, they believe that it's just going to open the markets up. If you're looking in Lane County, you are still seeing houses getting multiple offers. I know that I had a couple of offers, presented this week. We didn't win because there was multiple offer situations. So something to think about. So existing home sales, which makes up about 90% of the market, came out this week. And so I just want to kind of go over that with you. Some interesting numbers, and I think you'll find it interesting. So take a moment, watch this video, and let's kind of keep you up to speed.
But a few things first to go over in the housing market. We got existing home sales, a very important report because it measures the vast majority of transactions. A little bit dated because by the time the National Association of Realtors gets this to us, it is the data from March. And we were expecting this number to be lower. It came in improved, came in better than expectations. Let's take a look and go through the numbers together on a chart. So first off, as you'll see here, it was down 2.4% on a month-over-month basis. That doesn't really tell the whole story. First of all, they were expecting to be down about 4%. So this was an improvement. It's better than expectations. But when you take a look at the number for last month, it was a blockbuster number. It was up 14.5% to begin with. But guess what? They revised that higher. So that set a higher bar. If you went over, if we compared the number that we just got today versus the number from February that was originally reported, it would only be down 1.3%. But remember, this is from a really good, strong number in February. And let's also remember what happened with interest rates. Interest rates were moving higher in February. Now, this moved us to about a 4.44 million annualized pace. And on a year-over-year basis, nothing new. We're down 22% on a year-over-year basis. Now, remember that this measures everything. If you're saying, hey, I thought that we were down a little more than that. Yeah, if you're looking at mortgage apps, which does not contemplate cash transactions, that's going to be down like 36% year over year. So the difference is that this contemplates cash transactions. Now, there was a whole big to-do about median home price, right? And if you recall last month, median home price, which came out, was said it was the first time that median home price was down 0.2% on a year-over-year basis. We explained that whole thing to you. Well, guess what? It got revised higher, so it wasn't even down 0.2% year-over-year. So they were all wrong. But now this time, the number that was reported said that the median home price was down 0.9% year-over-year. But on a month-over-month basis, and this is what's important here, talk about turning around, it's up 2.2%. Now, this is a theme we've been seeing everywhere. Now, what about that 0.9%? Again, lots of talk about, hey, on a year-over-year basis. But what we want to show you here is take a look at this chart. It is a perfectly normal phenomenon to see a peak in June in median sales price, and then it come a little lower. But if you look from left to right, the overall trend clearly higher. Now, we did get to some extreme measures all the way to the right. So perhaps the drop a little bit stronger to the downside, but notice the rebound. And what we're hoping for here is as rates improve, and we believe that they will. I know we've had a few speed bumps here, but as we get into May, that should be the beginning of some improvement for rates. We're going to see a nice rebound in activity, but also because we're at these extremely low levels and rates have been higher, the mix of homes is what median home price measures. It's only natural for someone who was going to buy a $600,000 home to say, hey, maybe I'll buy something for $550,000 instead, or instead of $550,000, $500,000. That's going to cause the median home price to not move up as much. But you could have had those homes from a year ago selling across the board at lower levels. So you can still have appreciation and median home price decline. Let's remember that. Diana, break down some of the other numbers for us, because we have a lot of other detail, and there are some signs that other things are turning around favorably too, right?
Yeah, when you dig into the report, overall, it was very strong. So, first, let's take a look at some inventory numbers together. Looking at existing home inventory, it remained at 980,000, or right around there, for the third straight month in a row. But this is kind of overstating that number, because remember, about 40% of that inventory is already under contract. It only leaves you with about 560,000 in active listings. And comparing this to the time leading up to the housing bubble, it's extremely low. We had 4 million homes then and less than a million now. And looking at month supply, it was unchanged at 2.6 months, comparing that to a normal market at 4.6 months. And we're seeing a big turnaround in things like days on market. It went all the way down from 34 to 29 in this report. And those that were sold in less than 30 days went all the way up from 59 to 65. So some nice turning points there. First-time home buyers, they're making up about 1% more of transactions from the previous report at 28%. Cash buyers declined by 1%. And investors are now making up 17% of all transactions from 18 in the previous report, telling us that they're making one out of every 6 transactions or so. And a lot of this reflects what we've been seeing in the MBS Highway Housing Survey. We're seeing a really strong market overall. And
So keep in mind, actually, that's good input. So keep in mind, those are national numbers. Obviously, Lane County is a little different than that, but we do have a great housing market. So something kind of to put in the back of your pocket too. CrossCountry Mortgage, we know people have great rates that are living in some homes, but we also know that because the Fed has been raising rates, that things have gotten a lot more expensive. Car payments now, the average car payment's over $800. It is more than doubled in the last 3 years as far as the average car payment. Credit cards, they're 12, 14, 18, 20% now, depending on where your cards are. So we're seeing people need money. So one of the things that we're doing is, and you got to love automation. So we have brought in some artificial intelligence, and subsequently we are offering home equity lines of credit. They can be approved in like 5 minutes, and you can have the money in your account in like 5 days. So if you know folks that need some money out there, could be a great option for them. So again, that's just something that we're trying to do. So if you want to get, take advantage of that, pay off some debt, get something that may or may not be tax deductible, depending on your CPA. So things to keep in mind there too. So also April 15th is now behind us. So there are Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have what are called their loan level price adjustments. And our President Biden put in a plan in order to help people get into housing that have worse credit scores and lower down payments. He has lowered those interest rates for those people through those loan level price adjustments, and increased those loan level price adjustments for people with better credit and more down payment. Got to pay for it somehow. So that is in place. So, and when I say loan level price adjustments, think about, my industry, risk costs money, right? So at that point, more down payment, less risk, higher credit scores, less risk. So there's adjustments to the interest rates based off of that. We know that investment properties cost more, second homes cost more, all those kinds of things. So just something to keep in mind of what's going on there. So hopefully that helps. Hope you have a great weekend. And please let me know I can help. 541-735-9857. Have a great weekend. Talk to you later.